The NBA Western Conference Finals Game 5 on May 29 saw the Oklahoma City Thunder return home to face the Minnesota Timberwolves. Having already secured a commanding 3-1 series lead, the Thunder's dominance was on full display, exposing a clear gap in talent between the two teams. Timberwolves' struggles, inconsistent stars, and limited depth. The Timberwolves' struggles were multifaceted. Anthony Edwards' performance was too erratic. After the previous game, he admitted that scoring only 16 points simply wasn't enough to win. Edwards' offensive repertoire also appears limited, primarily relying on three-point shooting and drives to the basket. His three-point touch is inconsistent, and his drives often result in turnovers. Randle's inconsistency was even more pronounced. After dropping 28 points in Game 1, he managed a paltry 6 points on 2 of 11 shooting in Game 2. He bounced back with 24 points in Game 3, but then scored just 5 points in the next game, often benched in the crucial fourth quarter, much to the visible frustration of head coach Chris Finch. In short, while the Timberwolves have reached the Western Conference Finals for 2 consecutive years, they still have a long way to go before contending for a Western Conference or NBA championship. Thunder's playoff journey, tested and refined. In contrast, the Thunder's playoff journey this year saw them sweep their first-round opponent for 2-0 with little resistance. However, their second-round series pushed them to the brink, forcing a grueling Game 7. During this intense battle, the entire team, from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander SGA to Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, significantly elevated their efficiency and intensity. By the time they reached the Western Conference Finals, SGA was averaging over 30 points per game, showcasing his clutch gene with numerous timely plays in critical moments. According to predictions from Bleacher Report, the Thunder had over a 97% chance of winning the Western Conference Championship and over a 93% chance of winning the NBA Championship. It seemed the outcome of this season was a foregone conclusion even before the series began. The game itself was a complete rout. For Timberwolves fans, the only silver lining was that by the end of the first quarter, they knew their season was over. The first quarter saw the Timberwolves utterly dismantled, with the remaining 3 quarters merely a formality. Randle's opening three-pointer was the only offensive highlight for the Timberwolves in the first quarter outside of Edwards scoring. The Thunder immediately responded with an 11-0 run, forcing a Minnesota timeout. Edwards managed a few consecutive scores through drives, but then the Thunder unleashed another 9-0 run. In the first quarter alone, the Thunder delivered to dominant runs, both fueled by their relentless and suffocating defense. Alex Caruso galvanized the entire Thunder squad. The Timberwolves' other players seemed to crumble under pressure when facing the blue jerseys. Nez Reid fumbled the ball out of bounds at the sight of Caruso. Walker, completely unopposed under the basket, hesitated due to the Thunder's intimidating rim protection and ultimately missed an easy layup. Aside from Edwards, the rest of the Timberwolves looked lost, completely overwhelmed by the blue ocean of the Thunder's home court. At the start, the Thunder virtually ignored McDaniels, who went 0-for-6 from the field, leading to a complete offensive collapse for Minnesota. The players who had stepped up in the previous game, McDaniels, DiVincenzo, Walker, all misfired. The home court advantage was immense. The Thunder played bullying basketball, completely stifling the Timberwolves. It was like adults playing against children. Edwards showed some improvement compared to the last game, at least not giving up the ball immediately when double-teamed. He tried to penetrate to disrupt the defense before passing, and even found some openings to score when the Thunder's help defense left gaps. His offensive energy was much better than in the previous game. However, in a game like this, it's hard to escape the pervasive sense of frustration. The Timberwolves scored only 9 points in the first quarter. Randle 3, Edwards 6, making just 3 field goals and committing for turnovers. By halftime, they had made only 12 field goals with 14 turnovers, 10 of which occurred in the second quarter alone. From the second quarter onward, as the Timberwolves continued to commit live ball turnovers, Edwards' frustration became evident. Faced with the Thunder's suffocating defense, Edwards stopped forcing drives and simply fired a brick three-pointer to end a possession. It wasn't just Edwards. The entire Timberwolves team seemed to be asking, when will this game end? The second quarter was a defensive masterclass by SGA and Caruso, featuring dominant rim protection, steals, face-up takeaways, and fast-break interceptions that crushed the Timberwolves' last glimmer of hope. When Caruso was subbed out, the entire arena erupted in a standing ovation. The game was over. Playoff aftermath. Nuggets stock rises. Wolves embarrassment. After this series, the Denver Nuggets, who, despite injuries, dragged the Thunder to a Game 7, saw their stock rise. Similarly, the Clippers, who also battled the Nuggets for 7 games in the first round, also gained newfound respect for their performance. The Thunder's path to the Western Conference Finals wasn't easy, as they faced moments of genuine peril. But the Timberwolves clearly didn't push the Thunder with the same urgency. For the Timberwolves, this season's ending was even more embarrassing than last year's. Once the Thunder figured out their strategies, Minnesota simply had no strength to retaliate. While they did manage a stunning 42-point blowout win over the Thunder in Game 3, it was a fleeting moment. For most of the series, Edwards couldn't break double teams and struggled against the Thunder's interior defense. Crucially, the Timberwolves committed to many turnovers, with 21 in one game, putting them on a completely different level than the Thunder. Thunder's dominance and SGA's historic season. As for the Thunder, they have now won 4 playoff games by 30 or more points this season, setting an NBA record. Chet Holmgren became the youngest player in Thunder history to record at least 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a Western Conference Finals game. With his stellar Western Conference Finals averages of 31.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 8.2 assists, SGA deservingly earned the Western Conference Finals MVP award, receiving all 9 votes. This season, SGA has already clinched the scoring title, regular season MVP, first team All-NBA, All-Star selection, NBA Couple Tournament team, and Western Conference Finals MVP. He's on the verge of a Grand Slam, needing only the NBA Championship and Finals MVP to complete it. After the final buzzer, Edwards embraced SGA, refusing to let go. Patting his back and chest, Edwards undoubtedly had to acknowledge SGA's superiority. After the controversial phantom foul calls in Game 1, SGA received fewer favorable whistles, but his dominance only grew. 5 hard truths from ugly Western Conference Finals. Truth be told, this Western Conference Finals was ugly, and it revealed 5 key facts. The Nuggets' elimination is truly regrettable. Aside from the Timberwolves' stunning 42-point blowout in Game 3, the Thunder dictated the pace in the other 4 games, forcing continuous turnovers and exposing Minnesota's lack of effective finishing options. Edwards and Randall, the 2 primary scoring threats, were wildly inconsistent, posing little challenge to the Thunder. The team that truly pushed the Thunder to the brink was the short-handed Nuggets, playing with essentially 6 players. Even SGA struggled at times. If Aaron Gordon hadn't been injured in Game 7, and if the Nuggets had 1 or 2 more rotational players, the outcome might have been different. SGA's biggest future rival will undoubtedly be Jokic. There's a sense of why must such a brilliant talent be born when another already exists. The Lakers and Warriors lacked some luck. The Timberwolves weren't as strong as perceived, but the Lakers and Warriors were defeated by their own internal issues. The Lakers' front office traded for Luka Doncic but refused to acquire a center. Their objective was clear: maximize commercial value with LeBron James and Doncic now, and retain enough assets to pivot in the future. The Warriors, when Stephen Curry was playing, defeated the Timberwolves. But after Curry's hamstring injury, Jimmy Butler couldn't carry the team alone. The Timberwolves' gentlemen's sweeps into consecutive rounds, despite facing superstars, didn't truly test their defense, as their opponents didn't bring fierce pressure or sharp fast breaks to dictate the pace. The Timberwolves were lucky to reach the Western Conference Finals, even managing a 42-point blowout in Game 3. But overall, the gap between them and the Thunder was simply too wide, leading to a crushing 30-point defeat in their elimination game. Witnessing SGA's transformation, SGA led the Thunder to a 68-win regular season with little pressure. In the first round against the Grizzlies, he averaged 27.8 points, but with low efficiency. In the second round, the Nuggets exploited his weaknesses, using early double teams and physical play to make him uncomfortable. After winning MVP, the favorable foul calls SGA received peaking in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. When the league realized it shouldn't pull up seedlings to help them grow, SGA finally faced a real challenge. But his Western Conference Finals performance of 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists proved he truly deserved the MVP. He consistently found ways to contribute enough points, improving his half-court offensive efficiency and his three-point shooting. SGA's future is limitless. Anthony Edwards is overrated. The Timberwolves' ability to exploit the Lakers' interior weakness in the first 2 rounds and defeat the Warriors without Curry masked Edwards' shortcomings. Their roster depth was indeed good, and Rudy Gobert provided strong interior defense. Randall playoff efficiency was no worse than that of the previous Karl Anthony Towns. However, while Edwards has increased his three-point attempts and shot well in the regular season, it hasn't been an effective weapon in the playoffs. His efficiency plummeted with increased defensive intensity. He tends to drive to the basket, but the Thunder's 5 players would simply collapse into the paint. Because Edwards lacks a consistent mid-range game, once he was contained, the Timberwolves were rendered helpless. The NBA championship race has little suspense. With the Western Conference Championship secured, the Thunder has 7 days before the NBA Finals begin. After sweeping the Grizzlies in the first round, they also had 9 days of rest. The Thunder can be considered one of the most relaxed teams in the playoffs. Besides SGA, Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren are consistently producing near 40 points per game, significantly raising the Thunder's floor. Statistics show the Thunder had an average net rating of plus 12.55 points this season, with plus 12.9 in the regular season and plus 10.8 in the playoffs, the second highest in NBA history. As SGA himself said, "I only scored 34 points in Game 4 of the WCF. I couldn't score 124 points. I love these guys around me. We're going to keep moving forward." The suspense for this season's championship is rapidly diminishing. A new dynasty dawns, the Thunder's remarkable rebuild. So, 13 years after their last finals appearance, the Thunder are back. The last time they reached the finals, it was also with a young core that later produced 3 MVPs. Those circumstances led all 3 to leave. Recalling the summer of 2012, people truly believed those 3 young players would usher in their era. 13 years later, a new Thunder trio has emerged. SGA has already won MVP, and Jalen Williams has been flawless in these last 2 games. This Thunder team's defense is a tier above their predecessors from 13 years ago. Perhaps what the previous generation couldn't achieve, this one truly can. When Mark Daigneault took over the Thunder, Oklahoma City was in disarray after the Russell Westbrook era. In his first season, they won only 22 games, then 24 in the second, and began their resurgence with 40 wins in the third. Last season, they soared to 57 wins, becoming a top-tier team. They then gained valuable playoff experience, trading Giddey for Caruso. This regular season, they dominated their way to 68 wins and grew stronger throughout the playoffs. After a 7-game battle against the Nuggets, they became unstoppable, tearing apart the Timberwolves in 5 games and reaching the NBA Finals. From a tanking team to an NBA Finals contender, the Thunder achieved this in just 5 years, becoming the perfect model for a rebuilding franchise. They waited for SGA's ascension, drafted the elite talent of Chet Holmgren, and developed Jalen Williams into SGA's formidable second offensive option. A group of young players has continuously grown, and then they acquired the final piece of the puzzle in Caruso. One might say that not every team has the Thunder's luck in finding an MVP, but SGA's journey to MVP status is also a testament to the Thunder's relentless efforts. The Thunder took many detours 5 years ago, but the resources they accumulated provided ample room for trial and error. As the mastermind behind it all, when you see Sam Presti standing beside SGA during the awards ceremony, there's a sense of finally seeing their hard work pay off. As the league's best general manager, he truly deserves all the praise. No championship is easily won, not even a Western Conference championship. Lakers fans waited a full 13 years, through successive generations of players. Now, the 2012 Western Conference champions banner hanging in the Thunder's home arena is no longer alone. The Thunder still hold 20 draft picks over the next 5 years, and their average age is the youngest in the league. They are poised to begin their own dynasty.